Okay, this is entry number 2 on Metal Dog Tarot. I am feeling this morning compelled to do a reading for all of my dear Virgos. I don't know what it is, but in my life as a Metal Dog Scorpio, I have had so many Virgo friends and beloveds and family even. I think of Ruth Ann. I think of my very first girlfriend, whose birthday is tomorrow, also a metal dog, turning 50. And a recent friend I connected with from college. All kinds of Virgos in my life who have changed me and shaped me, and for some reason been drawn to a Scorpio. And I think of the Virgo as an orderly mind, and that order takes many forms. Sometimes extreme tidiness, even to the point of germophobia, and sometimes living in total chaos, but able to systematically organize ideas, perhaps as an attorney would. And the Virgos that I have been privileged to know and continue to know are people that are also somehow drawn to whatever the Scorpio means. I think of us as dark and intense and take a lot of time and take a lot of energy, and that Virgo earthiness is certainly something missing from my chart. I am fire, I'm air, I'm water in my chart, fixed in all ways, and the mutable Virgo. Sometimes totally warm and present, and sometimes totally cold and gone off to meditate on her own, like the hermit in the tarot. So, Earth, Pentacles, Virgos and their nuanced, sensitive, orderly minds and hearts drawn to Scorpios. Perhaps this reading is for you. I don't know why I feel compelled to do it as a kind of birthday gift to all of these loved ones. So let's see what happens. I'm using the Good Tarot, which is actually very hard for me to read. So I risk not being able to understand what the cards are trying to tell me when I use it, but I'm going to use it anyway. On the bottom, we have the 3 of Fire. And this is a manifestation coming in. This might be our underlying energy, whatever you're manifesting, my Virgo friends. So in the recent past, we get the Page of Fire. Sorry, these cards are glary. And this is a very sci-fi image for me. This is wands or fire, and that is associated with willpower, with passion, pleasures of body, creativity. Also, historically, the wands and the fire signs were associated with the working class. But this person is young and magical and full of the life of the mind here. Also, you might notice at the bottom there's a white tiger, and interestingly, metal in the metal dog, the sign of the metal dog is related to metal. The white tiger is associated with metal. I just learned that recently in my dilettante explorations of what metal, the relations between the elements mean within Chinese astrology. Okay, so for the present, we get the Hanged Man here hanging on the moon. And the Hanged Man is somebody who has just needed to stop and get new perspective and pause. And this is very hard for busy Virgo people to stop. It's much easier for me. And I thought perhaps the Virgos in my life have come to hang out with me, to go deep, to look inward. The moon often associated with intuition and the unseen within tarot. Very comfortable for me as a Scorpio. Seems very tarot appropriate to hang out with the moon and see what's up. Okay. So the next card, the third card, is your hidden influences. And here we have a messenger of truth. Here she is. I think I see her neck, I see her throat, I see her chin, her head thrown back, receiving the truth, but also carrying the message of the truth. And in this deck, air is for swords, which are associated with feathers. And within the science of the time of tarot taking effect, air, the sanguine, the moist and the cold, moist and warm actually, is actually now represented in tarot as blue and cold, like the cold hard truth. But from a historian's perspective, air would also be this ideal temperament, the sanguine temperament, warm and moist. And so we can feel the air as actually liquid. Perhaps has to do with the climate in Italy, southern France, where tarot originated, supposedly. I'm still learning about that, and it's certainly a part of what I want to bring to this Metal Dog Tarot channel. Sorry I'm taking so long. Okay, how appropriate. You, my dear Virgo, King of Earth. This is the, you are an earth sign, and here you are, earth, also the pentacles, the material world, grounded in reality, comfort, abundance, family, security. So this King of Earth, bearded, horned, in this deck, earth signs are associated with great stags, beautiful animals. Hopefully we'll see more as we keep pulling, but that's totally appropriate that the King of the Virgos here comes out. So the next card is the people in your life, or the person. In the Three of Earth we get, this Three of Earth, again, a Pentacles, earthy, practical. This could be work life. Threes are sometimes about collaboration, and the Three of Earth is certainly, or the Three of Pentacles is certainly read as the people that we collaborate with to build our dreams, to bring them into reality. So this is the people in your life, the people that you are building with. And I keep feeling as I do work on this channel that there's a message for this time that I want to talk about. I'm a historian and a feminist and writing science fiction, and I'm thinking very much about how our world seems to be ending and how I personally feel called to be a part of building a new world. And I yearn for collaboration. So I would love to be among your Three of Earth, my dear friends who are Virgos. So your advice, this card is your advice, is the Seven of Fire. Again, passion, willpower. This is a very magical deck, and this is a very magical image of a unicorn leaping off. I think of the Fool, of kind of going off on your own path. And the Seven of Fire, the Seven of Wands, is also very often about resistance, about the figure is very often holding a wand up to protect him or herself from outsiders. So resistance I see here, and I see this as a kind of resistance that has to do with a beautiful, pure integrity, and Virgos and Virgins having that sort of reading Virgo, Virgin virtue, that strength, that purity of integrity. And I'm not a prude, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm talking here about your soul, about your being your authenticity. And I think this card tells me about the magic. I see all of these lights, these fairy lights around this unicorn. And I also see that the unicorn is wearing a saddle, but in fact the saddle might just slip off here, become unsaddled through this act of resistance. Okay, for the future, we have the Six of Water. And the Six of Water in tarot is very often about past lives and soulmates, and it's a feelings card. Water is about your emotions. This deck, it's actually very much about get over the past and live in the present. It's funny, it's your future card, the Six of Water. And I think how she's looking in that pool of water and she sees herself reflected and she's sort of sad. But this card invites us, and this whole deck invites us to kind of move on from the states of being in tarot that are often negative. My dog is going to bark. Good quiet, buddy. Okay, so those are your cards. So we see you getting a changed perspective. We see a message of truth coming in. We see you at the peak of your earthiness, Virgo, collaborating in the material world. Your friends, your collaborators, your family. And we're seeing the advice is integrity, truth to yourself. Let go that saddle. Jump off that edge. You're a magical, beautiful unicorn surrounded by magic. And thus you leave the past behind. And I'm now snapping for my dog, who's so cute. Yeah. Great, and he has a disgusting bone. I know only friends are really watching these, so I'm just going to be myself. Be familiar. So I want to clarify, and that is not the deck I want to clarify with. Sometimes it just feels like, go with what feels right. I'm going to just play it nice and safe and go with the traditional Waite-Smith, often called the Rider-Waite. Of course, the artist is a woman, Smith, her name, early 20th century. So we should definitely change what we call this deck to the Waite-Smith. So Ms. Smith, artist of the most famous archetypes of tarot. Okay, so your past, this page of fire, this youthful, passionate, she's wearing a helmet. I always think, why is she wearing a purple helmet? Perhaps she's about to get on her bike and ride off into the neighborhood to go play with her friends. And I think of this tiger as slightly transparent. Like, this is like an imaginary friend. So this feels like the very far distant past, childhood. And then I find it interesting that the Six of Water comes up as your future, and I read this card in this deck as being about leaving the past behind, getting over nostalgia. And this seems to be a very appropriate feeling to have in what feels to me like an apocalypse, a sort of gentle apocalypse where our world is changing dramatically. And of course, your advice, the Seven of Fire, keep the magic. You still have that magic from your childhood, all the sparkly, beautiful, planetary magic of this past. Butterflies and light, the moon here. Again, the moon. I believe my dog's best friend just walked by. Okay, so now we're going to clarify the Page of Fire. We get the Ten of Cups. That is having reached the penultimate of love, happiness. There's a little family under a rainbow. We get the King of Swords, and we get the Queen of Cups. So this is interesting. Queen of Cups, the King of Swords. This guy cuts through shit, right? She's like super open-hearted. And we have a marriage, a family, a little rainbow. We've got somewhere. Actually, one of my Virgo friends here is a great activist for marriage equality. Yeah, and it feels like this at age 50. that we've got somewhere. We're kings and queens in our lives, and you, my Virgo friend, are there, and that you've reached there, and now it's the next day. So, and it's today, and all of that achievement, that old world that we were born into in 1970, if you're a metal dog, that is a beautiful memory, right? And certainly magical, full of dreams. And part of what I'm going through, and maybe you are too, is a grieving process of seeing the truth, like this Aquarian King of Swords. I see now. I feel it all. I'm willing to talk about my feelings. So now we're in the Hangman, the present. That's the past. What now? Okay, we get a choice, the Two of Pentacles in the material world, a decision. Ooh, we get the Tower. No doubt. Present feels like a big tower, which is a dramatic change that is brought on because we didn't make it through our own free will. In fact, this change came from the outside. And then thirdly, the Hangman, the Four of Wands. There's a tarot reader I love to watch, the Mystic Witch Tarot, and she interprets the Four of Wands and all fours as everything above the surface, so that we can see everything now. And I don't know this decision, so Virgo, you would know. But what is this decision that you're struggling with? Two possibilities right now in the present, and you're the Hangman. You're here in the Hangman position. There's nothing you can do. You're stuck here. So you might as well get a new perspective, right? The Tower has happened. Everything is above the surface, and you have a decision to make. Very curious about these decisions. Messenger of Air, your hidden influence. What is this truth? I feel like the Four of Wands and the King of Swords make me sense that you Virgos have realized something. You've come to a realization about some truth about you, or about your world, about how you're living your life. Although I see no criticism of how you live your life, I see a beautiful, heart-filled life. So hidden influences. The Messenger of Air brings us the Six of Pentacles. This is a card of give and take, of material wealth that is shared, also received equally. Again, Mystic Witch Tarot makes me think of sixes as about reciprocity, and in this Six of Pentacles, I keep seeing a rich person giving to poor people. I see inequality actually as a hidden influence here when I'm seeing this card and I'm reading it. In this time, I see wealth that is being handed out charitably, but then maybe that's not ideal. It would be ideal if no one had to beg to rich people, in my personal political opinion. Hidden influence, Two of Cups. This is equality. It's also love, unequal in love. And then you have the Caduceus of Hermes, of Mercury, often associated with healing, but also communication. So this is a card of communication, a meeting of minds, a meeting of equals. So interesting. Six of Pentacles, so much about hierarchy of wealth. And here, Two of Cups, also in the hidden influences, about equality, partnership. And then we have the Nine of Wands, hidden influence. This is somebody who has been through struggle. And we do have people in our lives, if we are one of these rich Six of Pentacles people handing out charitably, there are people amongst us and energies amongst us who are feeling just like this, determined. I've been through it. I've been beaten up. I'm hanging on to my wand, but I'm trudging onward. So this is determination, message of reciprocity, equality, determination. coming to you. If you can hear it, it's hidden. So you need to become aware of what is hidden here. You, my friend, my king of earth, my Virgo, let's find out more about you. 5 of Swords. So you've been feeling like you're in a battle, perhaps of your own making. 5 of Swords in one of my decks, it's a worm chopped up. It's a very disturbing card to me. And when you read about it, and I'm talking about the wild unknown 5 of Swords, it's about self-harm. We see a person who's walking away with all the weapons, and these people are leaving the battlefield. So you might be asking yourself, I won, but was it worth it? 5 of Wands. Well, 5s are a place you want to leave. This suggests that you might want to be changing here. You're feeling uncomfortable. This can be Wands, again, creativity, willpower. So this could be fun. This could be like a collaborative process. It's kind of chaotic. Nobody is able to take the lead here. And it could also be read as someone who cares overly much about what other people think. So that there's all this confusion. There's all this self-doubt that I'm reading here from this King of Earth. And then Justice. Okay, so we had a sense that in the present with the 2 of Pentacles, you have a choice. And Justice is certainly about a choice, but it's also about karma, about earthly justice. If somebody has done something wrong, then they're going to get it. But you could also be a bringer of justice, making the right choice, right? So she has the sword, it's held upright here, and she has scales, the scales of justice and the truth, right? I like this card. I'm a middle dog. I value honesty. I'm not afraid of justice because I feel that I've lived in integrity. And yeah. What did I see that about integrity? Oh, well, the 4 of Wands, in the present, everything's above the earth. So this is seeing everything as it is. The King of Swords, is in the past. Well, let's keep on going here. So let's talk about the people in your life, represented here as your collaborators in the material world. People that you are taking ideas, these youthful ideas, these dreams, these visions. And now, in this very earthy sense, she has glasses on over her eyes. It makes me think about seeing ahead and having a vision and bringing it into reality. There's some kind of a moth also landing on her elbow that I see. There's a lot going on in the background. These cards are very deep. Okay, 3 of Earth. So we get the 2 of Wands. You are manifesting, or your people are manifesting. These are the people in your life. So the 2 of Wands, manifesting, saying what you want, saying what they want. So that goes very much with your friends, your people, these collaborators here. You're looking ahead and you're seeing what needs to be brought in. The 2 of Swords also. So we have lots of 2s here. 2 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, and 2 of Swords. We have all of the 2s. 2s are decisions. This decision maker closes her eyes to the outside world. She's under the moon, and she has 2 swords. She's also, it's a 7 of Fire that your advice about integrity. She also is looking inward to her own counsel. But again, a choice. You see the water behind her. So we have two 2s, an expectation, a manifestation, and a going inward to make a decision. And so the Wheel of Fortune. So people in your life are manifesting the going inward, and this is all on divine timing. You get this card a lot. There's fate in it. Things are turning in the universe's time. Yeah, all four of the fixed. I think that's true. Well, let me not make things up here. There's a lot of figures in this that I just wanted to look at. These golden, these are astrological symbols. We have a snake, we have a kind of foxy jackal looking guy, and we have the Sphinx on the top. So again, collaborators representing different world viewpoints, people who are manifesting, people who are looking inward. Take that as you will, my friend. Okay, so now we're going to look at your advice, which is the Seven of Fire, or the Seven of Wands, which I said is about resistance, where we see this unicorn letting go that saddle, leaping off the edge, surrounded by magical fairies, integrity, and we get to add to this the Sword of Truth. So you know the truth, and leap off with this unicorn with your truth. Interesting, because this is the future card too, the Six of Cups. Here in the Waite Smith, we have children, sharing. This is about soulmates, past lives. So recognize this. This is a positive here. The other Six of Water that we have is, as I said in this deck, like get over the past. But this actually tells me like keep what's good. Keep your childhood friends. Maybe because I am from your past, Virgos, or in many cases I'm reaching to you from your childhood. We knew each other in college at least. Yeah, so the feelings of nostalgia, the youthful, childish ideals. I certainly feel like this moment where the world seems to be ending, and in many ways needs to end. I mean, I think white supremacy needs to end. This huge wealth disparity needs to end. And, I was born in 1970. My whole life I've been trained, I've been taught. I was born basically into a utopian moment. And so we were supposed to realize this magical world when we were kids, but something happened. Another agenda was at work. There was a sort of engine going in the other direction. And so to keep that visionary childhood magic is definitely something that I'm doing here. And speaking of visionary childhood magic, here again, the Page of Wands. And this is the Page of Wands. It's your past, your distant, your recent past. This also, we're being advised to keep this vision. I love this. I feel like my inner children are just completely satisfied by this reading. So the Six of Water, your future. She's sad. This judgy deck is saying get over the past, get over your nostalgia. You're going to fall into that pool of looking into the past, and this is your future. So certainly this is a time of great change, and we're grieving, and perhaps you are grieving, Virgo. But the Empress is your future. So this Empress card is the Earth. She is the Earth Mama. She is another Virgo. I want my Virgo friends to certainly end up in the future with yourself, right? You've leapt off the edge. You've manifested this integrity. You're collaborating. You're seeing the truth. You're hanging on to that inner child. You're bringing the visions of your youth forward, and you end up the Empress. That's awesome. That's like as good as it gets, my friends. And she's nurturing and loving And she also very often represents our planet, which I am personally very concerned about. But there's bounty. She's wearing a dress and pomegranates. I see that she's holding probably some kind of scepter, but it looks to me like a microphone. I actually am thinking of karaoke. So I think you're going to be having some fun in the future. And there's a women's symbol, which if you're one of my Virgos is completely appropriate. You know, we all met in feminist movement back in college. And this has continued to be one of the reasons that we come together as friends today. This is your future. Messages, communication, travel, wands, passion, willpower. It's quite a lot of action and movement in the future. And Leo, the Leo's heart, strength. You know, this is a feminine figure. She has the infinity sign over her head. She has a wild lion, and she is putting her hands in that lion's mouth. She has power over this wild beast within, and perhaps in the world. And so I love this future for you, my Virgo friends. I see a new perspective. I see facing the truth. I see integrity and really coming out of struggle and self-doubt, self-criticism, really carrying over much what other people think into powerful collaborations with people who are manifestors. I see twos here. So if you've been involved in threes, mixed up in compromising situation, your future, your present is full of twos, and it's full of integrity. And it's the kind of integrity that's about keeping what was beautiful and generous and magical from your childhood and going forward from that as well as the Empress, carrying a powerful message, a message of strength, a message of moderation. I think of this ability to calm the beast within, and to bring that beautiful, beautiful, nurturing, feminine, feminist quality to the world. So I'm so glad that I felt like doing this reading, because it was fun to spend time with my Virgo friends. And in your energy, it does feel that way. I mean, I'm just goofing around with tarot, but the more I do it, the more I love it. It's very compelling to get into these stories. And I'm a historian. I am a storyteller. I'm supposed to help tell stories for our time. So I'm very moved by your message, and I love you, Virgos, and I hope that you get something out of this. Okay, bye-bye.